I am shorting Ethereum to zero. Right now in Bitcoin Las Vegas, we're up roughly $4,000 in this position already, which if you're in the Discover Crypto Discord, you'd be getting all of these signals as we update them. But here's why I'm shorting and what I'm about to do next. I am shorting because of the Bitcoin conference. Now, if you're new to crypto, that might sound crazy, but historically, every single Bitcoin conference we have major pullback. And this is because of market manipulation and profit taking, which unfortunately you can't avoid, but a lot of insiders get on major announcements that take place, whether they're announcing Bitcoin strategic reserves or sovereign wealth funds or some new strategy. Usually insiders know first. So once the announcement takes place, a buy the rumor, sell the news event takes place. And historically, at every single conference that at least I've been a part of, all the way back to 2021, you have anywhere between 20 to 30% crashes. In 2024, yes, last August at the event, we went from $70K to $49,000 in August. Now, I don't think we're gonna get that dramatic of a pullback, but here are the two things I'm watching and what I'm about to do next. Number one is the futures gaps, which worst case scenario is a pullback back to about $91,000 or 96K. Now, this could happen months from now, so I'm not betting on this. For example, when we first broke past $77,000, just last November, it took us months before we came back and filled that futures gap. So we could easily see a new all-time high of 120K. And in fact, we may not actually ever see these gaps fill. We just know that they fill 80% of the time. So if I'm not shorting because of the gap, and I'm just aware of those gaps, what's the reason? Liquidity. This is the most obvious way to trade in the market right now. In case you've missed it, James Wynn is the guy that's been betting literally hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars on the market. And if you want to win in trades, just do the opposite of whatever he's doing. But if you have FOMO'd, and obviously James Wynn doesn't have this or else he'd be making better trades, I'm simply just watching the liquidation ranges. So you can see when we came back up to, on Ethereum, $2,700, I shorted the market. And then now I'm going to look to close it once the liquidity is filled here, of course, all the way down at $2,623. Now, ideally, I would just want to take profits there because, in fact, you can see that the liquidity is all the way down to $2,559 now, even all the way down to $2,558. And it's simple. You want to short when you're in the red, and you want to long when it's in the green. So when the green side's higher than the red side, you long. When the red side's higher than the green side, you short. Now, this trade's almost over. And the next thing I want to be watching for is a liquidity grab for Bitcoin, hopefully down to the top range of 106 to maybe low or high $107,000 range. And I'm going to be watching the liquidation chart here. You can see that if Bitcoin were to go to 107,100, roughly all the liquidity would be completely wiped out, and now it's all starting to stack above Bitcoin towards $112,000. We need this to happen. I don't want us to just shoot straight up to 100. Okay, of course I want us to go straight to 130K, but it wouldn't be healthy, right? Every single time we set a new all-time high, you want to consolidate. We want that range to breathe, consolidate, and grow so that way we can develop enough liquidity to break us through the next resistance level, which in this case is $112,000. So if you're going to be playing shorts right now, very tight stop losses, right? We're going to be just going ahead and grabbing the range, which looks like this. If you short around 110K, usually you can catch the entire trade down to the bottom range of 106, almost $107,000. It happened once, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost, and then of course that 7th time. Obviously, you're not using 50x leverage. You're using shorter leverage, but you're trading within that range. Now, there's RSIs and MACDs and stochastics and other indicators we use to also help adjust these trades. But the focus here really is, again, what's happened historically. Bitcoin conferences, even though they have tons of bullish news, bullish announcements, usually ends up coinciding with a buy the rumor, sell the news event. And that is why we've positioned ourselves in this trade. If you guys want to keep up with our daily trades, make sure you guys come join the Discover Crypto Discord. In terms of the event, everybody is talking about Bitcoin DeFi, how to use your Bitcoin, not how to sell your Bitcoin, but how to use it. So how can you earn yield off that? How can you bring tokenization and borrowing and lending protocols to Bitcoin's ecosystem? Tokenization, real world assets. Those are all the conversations. JD Vance will be speaking tomorrow at 9 a.m. There might be some major announcements, but again, don't be shocked if we don't get a pump, right? I believe we could see all-time highs this week, okay? Very, very possible. I'm not somebody that's against that. I'm just trading ranges right now. But don't be shocked if, of course, there's a monumental announcement that you think is earth-shattering to the market, and then we have a bit of a correction. Because history shows that due to manipulation, due to insiders. Usually it's a buy the rumor, sell the news mechanic that you see take place in these markets. And that's why we're positioned right now in these short positions. Of course, we'll look to take those longs. We'll look to make some nice trades. And if we get an insane pullback, that is your next accumulation zone where you start picking up maybe some potential altcoins. But until then, we have about 48 hours left in this conference. We'll be keeping you guys up with every single step of the way. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications, because tomorrow morning we'll be back in the Sin City Crypto Studio with DZ on the floor, live streaming the JD Vance conference. We'll be doing a live watch party together with you guys here on the Discover channel. And then, of course, we'll just be bringing you guys through all of the content throughout the day. See you guys soon.